Why your house gets showings but no offers, and what to fix. If your home's getting showings but no offers, that's not random. It's a signal, okay? And the signal's telling you something you may not want to hear. This is pretty simple to understand, right? Showings mean interest. Showings are a good thing. Great. You just hit the market, you've got a lot of showings. But if you get no offers, that, of course, is hesitation. And hesitation is a perceived mismatch. Now, several things could be happening. One point that I see a lot is right now, realtors are getting sharper and sharper, and photographers are separating themselves, getting sharper and sharper by editing. And they're dishonestly editing. They're replacing whole yards, they're replacing whole skies, they're cutting out trees and items in the backyards and items inside, they're repainting walls with editing, all sorts of things. And nothing pisses a buyer off more than when they show up and the home is not like it looks in the pictures. Now, I admit, I used to do a little bit of this. Guilty. I would take a certain scratch off the wall, here and there, little nicks. A tiny bit of that is okay. If it's something you can fix in 10, 15 minutes, fine. But if it's something like painting entire walls, dishonestly staging the house without saying you're staging it with virtual furniture, removing the entire yard and replacing it with, AstroTurf, beautiful looking, perfect green grass. You see all kinds of things out there, and it's ridiculous. Photographers using these super wide angle lenses to make the place look humongous. The buyer gets in there and they're like, holy crap, this is dishonest advertising. I wish I could sue somebody. So when they don't get an offer, when there's that hesitation, the perceived mismatch from the shoppers, the clients start to freak out and they take it personally. And then the agent says to them, well, hey, I'm getting you tons of showings, I can't help it. But they're getting dishonest showings, misleading showings. Buyers who are looking for a perfect property for this price, it's not a match. You have to, as a seller, look over your pictures and say something to your agent. If you feel like it's dishonest, say, hey, the place doesn't really look like that. And your agent might say something like, well, we need to get as many buyers in here as possible. When they show up, they know how it is, or they know it's not going to be perfect. That's not an excuse. And that's why years ago, I changed that. It's dishonest. It's awful. No more changing out entire yards, entire insides, entire walls, and dishonest listing descriptions too. We have to be real. Be authentic. So let's talk about the 3 reasons offers don't happen, all right? One is going to be price versus value disconnect. They're comparing it to similar homes. The buyers are data-driven, okay? And they can tell that it's not a good value for the price. They're using your home is helping to sell the other properties. You don't want that. Your property has to be properly positioned in a way that it's the obvious choice, not so that it helps sell other properties that are in the area. Buyers have more time these days. They're more logical. They're shopping everything. So the price and value and condition has to all match up and be properly positioned when you list a house. You don't have much time. Again, those first 10 to 20 days are all you have to maximize the buyer's emotional state and fear of loss, okay? Number 2 is going to be the condition and the presentation. Obviously, things like smells, dated fixtures, clutter, not any natural light, heavy window coverings. These are things you can actually fix or work on pretty easily. So, pet smells is a big one. And I know sometimes there's not a ton you can do. Try ozone, try treatments, try carpet cleaning, try even painting certain rooms. Anything you can do to lower that pet smell, the dog smell, can be pretty bad. Don't even get me started about the cat smell, okay? Something has to be done about it. Smell or of musty, mold, basement smells. That and the pet smell, the basement smell is even worse. What turns off buyers immediately and gets them to walk right out. And a lot of times it's the biggest objection there is. The biggest fear is moisture. So if there's a musty smell, it's terrible. I had a property like that. The lady really needed my help. There was issues with moisture in the basement. We needed French drains. We needed treatments. We needed waterproofing. And we had plans for all that we were showing the buyers. The buyers knew this was going to be an issue. But even being honest as we were and compensating on the price, it was extremely difficult to sell that home because it is risky. And it seems when properties start to get moisture in the basement, it can continue being an issue. It's a challenge. Sometimes it takes repeated steps, repeated treatments, repeated specialists, and you know this, to fix that problem and to not fear it anymore. Every time it rains heavy, you'd be going down there making sure everything's okay. That's very tough. Clutter is a big one. I tell people your home has to look like a hotel, like an Airbnb. We need to get 2/3 of the things out of there. Keep the purpose of the room, but purely for its purpose. If it's a bedroom, lamp, nice bed, rug, side tables, mirror, one piece of art, right? We're talking the minimum needed to define the room and a little bit of decor, like an Airbnb or a rental would. It has to be ready for someone to stay in there and not full of family pictures, not full of little knickknacks, awards and prizes with your name on them, things like that. Sometimes people get irritated by that, but my job is to get you the absolute most profit for your home and sell it as quickly and painlessly as possible. And the less objections, the less turnoffs you give the buyers, the easier this is going to happen, okay? This is all obvious stuff that you've heard before, but I need to go over it again with you, okay? Light, we need natural light before showings, before open houses. Make sure you're opening those blinds, spreading those curtains apart. If you have heavy window treatments, I recommend taking those down. Those are no good, all right? And then 3, let's talk about buyer psychology. So again, if the property feels super as is, or the price is super high, or there's no urgency, it's wide open for showings, and hey, so we're no sense of urgency means we're past those first 2 weeks. Let's say buyers can tell this property's, no one's in a rush to buy it. It's been sitting. The psychology is bad at that point. Buyers are thinking, wow, what am I missing that other people are seeing? I don't want to be the first person to buy this. I mean, are other people just way smarter than me? Am I being stupid to buy this property? There's no social proof. Compare that to it being the first week on the market. The property's priced and presents very well. It seems like an obviously good value. There's 4 or 5 other showings parking at the same time the buyer's going in there. You can tell someone just left. Someone's coming in right behind them. They look excited. They have this hurried anxiety about them. Huge, big. I mean, I've seen buyers even consider sending friends over or people they know at the same time as the showings to build like some anxiety in the actual buyers that are looking at the property. Talk about honesty. Hey, I don't see anything wrong with that. If the home is priced and presents well and you're being totally honest about the property, disclosing everything, there's nothing wrong with that because the people should want the property. I've seen that before and it works. That's all I'm going to say. And again, things like when the agent puts motivated seller, God forbid, OBO, like or best offer, need to sell this quick. Seller's very motivated, offering closing credits. I get that things like this happen, but that happening means there was a mistake made in the first place. Objections from the buyers, if you get them, there's already been a mistake. Something already went wrong because it should be an obvious value, the obvious choice. If it's overpriced, I'm sorry, then it's not an obvious value. It's overpriced. And buyers these days do not want to deal with that. $900,000 place and you decide to list it for $1,050,000 to have room to negotiate. I'm sorry, the buyer's not going to offer you $900,000 for it. They're going to think the seller wants $1,050,000 because they're crazy and they're probably not reasonable. If they think it's worth so much money, they're probably very emotionally tied to it. They think they're going to get that much. Get me out of here. I want an easy deal with someone realistic and easy to work with. That's what buyers think. And as a buyer's agent, that's what I think. I'm going to say, wow, if the agent's going to get ticked off, it ain't even worth it. Let's go see a place that's actually $900,000 that's priced at $900,000 or $875,000, and let's buy it fast and give them what they want because they seem like they're easy folks to work with. They're realistic, and it's going to be a great experience. Much better than bidding what we feel like is an actual price on an overpriced property. Does that make sense? And if that's $1 million property, let's say it's $900,000 property, but you price it at $1 million. 3 weeks later, it's finally at $900,000. The psychology is totally different. If you list a $900,000 house at $900,000 or $895,000, people are going to be excited and say, "Wow, we can get this for $900,000. That's fair." Or it's actually a deal. It's a little bit underpriced maybe. This is exciting. Let's give them what they want. $1 million house that's now $900,000 3 weeks on the market. Wow, this is a crappy $1 million house. People did not want to buy this. I don't want to buy it either. Yeah, I see this. Look at this. Look at that. This is why it's overpriced. This is why it was a bad deal. This is why it's still sitting on the market. Completely different perception. They're looking for the negatives all over the place. So you cannot do that. You cannot mess around with buyers anymore, okay? I'm sorry, but the period of 2021, 22, that was a once in a lifetime thing, okay? Because of COVID, because it was extremely low interest rates, should have never happened. Buyers got very unreasonable, swept up into mania. It was mania, right? Like the tulip mania from Holland in the 1800s, the bubbles. It was the madness of crowds, okay? That's gone today. We're in a realistic market. It's still a seller's market in my part of the country, in the Midwest, but it's much more balanced. I'd say it's 60-40 sellers market here. 60 sellers, 40 buyers, the weight of power here. In some areas now, it's back down to 50-50. Or it's even more of a buyer's market. There's parts here in my city, Columbus, where it is a buyer's market in certain parts of the city, right? It's hyper-local. It can change sometimes from neighborhood to neighborhood. But anyways, buyers are not playing around anymore. So we cannot do that anymore. We cannot overprice or ask whatever we want and expect to get it. It ain't going to happen. and everyone is going to be unhappy, and you're going to have a terrible experience. All right, so what can you do if you're a seller and you're in this place where you've gotten showings but no offers, there's hesitation, there's a mismatch, things are all messed up? This is a scary thing because, as you know, on the MLS, it's going to live forever. Realtors and buyers, and on the Zillow, they see the history as well. That's going to live out there. So you have to act fast, okay? Something you can do, reposition pricing, of course. Bring it down to a fair market price. Go to what it should be worth. Your agent's going to rehearse a solid story for what happened, and they're going to, on top of bringing it down to the realistic price, you have to compensate a little bit, not by giving too much money, but by improving the staging and make sure the condition's perfect. Get it deep clean. Cleanliness is everything. That's even more important to me than the furniture or the staging, is the cleanliness. Paint that front door. When it's clean and fresh right at first impression, the buyers think the whole house was taken care of. They feel more favorable about the whole history of the house. It feels better for the spirit, the soul, the emotions, and the pocketbook is more likely to come out. They're going to be much more optimistic about offering more, less trepidation about buying the property. So clean is everything. It's also just the right thing to do, right? The honorable thing to do. I will not work with a seller if they do not have a deep cleaning done, and if they don't power wash or give me the means to get the property power washed, especially the concrete, the walk, the drive. I mean, my common property is $500,000, $800,000 plus, and there's nothing. I saw a $1.2 million property today where the back patio, the paver patio, was filthy. The concrete was filthy. The driveway was filthy. And the aerial shots and all this stuff just shows the filth. What do you think they're going to think about the rest of the home? It's just a terrible impression. And it's going to make them think the property's being sold as is right off the bat. I mean, how can the outside be filthy and the inside be wonderful? It's not going to be. And even if that's not a match, there's a mismatch right there. And that's going to lead to hesitation. So we have to do this to reset the momentum. This is like hitting the stop button. Reset the momentum. Bring it down to the actual price. Get it deep clean. Make it feel like, wow, they did something in here. The same buyers might not return, or they might, and they'll be much happier. But the new buyers are going to say, wow, I don't know why this property sat. If they can't find anything to explain now why it's not being sold, it's going to minimize those negatives, and it's going to make them think, wow, they adjusted it to what it should be. This is fair now. And you might be able to salvage this, okay? It's still not the same as going on market at that price. You've lost that period. But you can't honor and serve those future buyers, the actual person who's going to buy the property, by doing this. Super deep clean, restage or refresh things. Bring the price down to the actual price. You don't have to you don't have to chase the price down. And another thing, it depends on the time frame though, guys. If it's been, let's say average days on market in that area is 40 days and now it's been 90 days, it's probably best for everyone to take it off the market. Where I live, we have to wait 30 days and then relist it. It's going to make it look brand new again. Now buyers and the agents can dig in the history and they can see that it was relisted, but the first impression is going to be way stronger and they're more likely to not even dig into that old listing. They're going to just forget it and say, okay, maybe they had to fix some things up, and they can't help it. They're still going to approach it much better than they would have if it was still on the market at 90 days plus. Does that make sense? So even though they can see that it's been relisted, the psychology is still going to be better. And I would do that once you pass the average days on market by say 10, 20%. You know, if it's 30 days and you're on market like 40 days, I would consider relisting it, okay? Especially if you're like double the time. It's time to cancel that listing, stay with the same agent if you're loyal, or perhaps think about a different agent. You know, I know when this happens, the relationship can sort of suffer. But if you feel safe with that agent, stay with them. That's fine. I admire your loyalty. And relist the property with, again, refreshing, maybe restaging the actual price and a story for what happened. Just tell the truth, okay? And buyers will like that a lot more than, we don't know. The place is perfect. We don't know why someone won't buy it. The disclosures are perfect. There's no everywhere. Some honesty and some forthcomingness goes a long way, okay? So again, guys, silence from the market is not personal, okay? I know people get emotional about their homes. It's one of the toughest parts of being an agent. It's information. It's useful information that you have to act on. Don't take it personally. Don't get upset. Okay, the question is, are you working with an agent that knows how to interpret this and hopefully interprets it real time? Again, an agent should take an active positioning approach, actively changing the strategy based on what's going on now. So if we had 5 or 6 showings today and they got the feedback today, I'm going to tell you today or tomorrow. We're not going to wait 3 weeks and say, you know, over the last few, if it happens once or twice, 3 times, it's going to keep happening. So we need to act fast, or at least your agent needs to try to encourage you to act fast or make sure you have the information fast. Okay? And you need to work with someone that's not afraid to tell you the truth. Someone that just doesn't want to win the listing I'm here to sell houses. I have a 100% track record. I'm here to get it done. I'm here to not tell you something sexy or what you want to hear, make you happy. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear because I have your fiduciary interest, your best interest in mind. And I will not be serving you if I don't tell you the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And so I might not be the agent for you, for example. You might want someone who's just more joy, and is willing to kind of tell you what you want to hear. And that's okay. All right. Some sellers want that, but I do not recommend that. I recommend someone, if you're a seller, who's going to tell you exactly what you need to hear, with your permission, of course, but they're going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Okay. So if you're having trouble selling that property, do what I said, refresh it, maybe relist it, clean, super deep cleaning, and come up with the real truth, the real story on what happened, what's happened. Maybe we started too high, but now it's fair. We just got it cleaned. We'd love for your buyers to consider it. And I think you'll be best off. Okay. Thanks for your time. I'm Paul Graves. Talk to you next time. If you're serious about selling here in Columbus, Ohio, interview me. You'll be glad you did.